wanted to explain to you, we are dealing with spiritual in physical and physical in spiritual. Now the sowing and reaping is a completely physical act, am I right? Come on. It's a farmer who is sowing the seed and is reaping the harvest. It's completely physical. But the metaphorically, it is not just the physical, it is your spiritual, it is your ethical, it is every walk of your life. This is where I wanted to say. Everything you see in the physical cannot be just the physical alone, and everything you see in the spiritual cannot be just spiritual alone. Thereby, I read this statement. We are dealing with spiritual in physical and physical in spiritual. Am I reaching? Just focus on what I'm saying. I'll give an example. Sowing and reaping is a physical work, but the Lord is teaching us a lesson. Sowing and reaping, hey, it's just not a physical. In your spiritual, in your emotional, in your family, in your mental, in your ethical, everywhere you keep sowing. That is a metaphor of the spiritual lesson we are going to take. Though it's a physical, we are learning a spiritual lesson. Though it's a spiritual, we are taking that into the physical level. Let me give you an example. First I'm giving you a definition. I'll give you examples so you'll understand. Born again. Born again. Born again is completely a spiritual work, but that should be experienced in your physical life. Am I making it sense? Born again, once you're born again, you become the child of God, which you don't see in the natural realm. You belong to the heaven. But the work of born again, though it's a spiritual, it is a physical act in your life. If you understand, say one amen. Isn't it? The same way, preparing for a heaven, or preparing for the coming of the Lord. It is spiritual, but the preparation is in the physical realm. I don't know whether I'm reaching you or not. We are talking many of the spiritual things, but it has to be take place in the physical life, and we are talking many of the physical things which will take place in the spiritual life. And if you understand that, you give a proper dimension, or you give a proper thinking to the physical life to see where you are, how you are, what you are. Am I reaching? See, you don't think that spiritual is separate and physical is separate. No, your physical and spiritual is always connected with. If you don't do somewhere wrong, if you do somewhere wrong in somewhere, you'll end up in somewhere wrong somewhere. So that means your physical life and your spiritual life go hand in hand. That's what we call the metaphorically speaking. Your physical life and spiritual life is always going hand in hand, so that every spiritual act of you should be balanced in the physical life, and every physical act of you should be balanced in the spiritual life. Amen? Amen. You got to understand this reality.